So I have finally, I think, figured out why I don't want to say I don't like. I think it's better to phrase it as like I'm meh on Rust. I figured out why I'm meh on Rust, and the reason I'm like kind of meh on Rust, which is like not like a strong dislike, but like a slight dislike of Rust, or like not even a dislike of Rust. It's mostly a criticism of the way that Rust is sold, is because of this other paper I was reading by Leslie Lamport. And let me just like once again pull up this this quote because I want to get it right because it's just once again a deep and subtle cut, and I like it a lot. Okay, and in this paper, it's the paper is titled, if you want to read it, "Computation in State Machines." And I'll just read this paragraph from the preface, and then I'll talk about why this is the reason why I'm meh on Rust. So he says, for quite a while, I've been disturbed by the emphasis on language in computer science. One result of that emphasis is programmers who are C++ experts but can't write programs that do what they're supposed to. The typical computer science response is that programmers need to use the right programming, specification, or development language instead of or in addition to C++. The typical industrial response is to provide the programmer with better debugging tools. This is the crux of it here. So the typical industrial response is to provide the programmer with better debugging tools on the theory that we can obtain good programs by putting a monkey at a keyboard and automatically finding the errors in its code. And for one, I find that last sentence, to be hilarious. But I think that also like gets at why I've kind of disliked this whole aura of like type safety and memory safety and all of these other type of safeties will like fix the problems that we have with our code and with our software and with our programs. It's like it's a theory based in like I think a misunderstanding of where the problems with modern day software are and with where software development is. And I think that Rust and the kind of ethos around it, not saying that the language itself is not good and useful. I think it is good and useful, but I think that argument of like we need Rust because C is not safe enough. So if we just had a memory safe version of C, then our problems would be fixed. And I know there's nuance. Like lots of people have a much more nuanced argument of that. Like it will solve some of those memory safety problems, and then there's other problems we have to solve as well. But the big selling point feels like it is the way to fix the problem with so much of our software is to add this memory safety thing, to have this, this borrow checker that exists in Rust. And by having this